Rayscaper is a brand new rendering engine designed for SketchUp, and it is wonderful because it is very fast, interactive, intuitive, and in few seconds and provides you with wonderful renders. So I found it very promising, and you can use it for almost anything, including architectural visualization and also product visualization. In this short tutorial, I will go through material creation, and then we will render a simple scene setup and a car. Okay, let's get started. To be familiar with the material system, I have prepared a very simple scene, including a material test object and two light emitter materials or surfaces that provides warm and cool side lights. Okay, let's get started with icons on Rayscaper toolbar. The first one starts the Rayscaper. The next two are dedicated to lights, that I'm not covering them in this tutorial because I'm using light emitter materials instead of lights. Next two are dedicated to adjusting your camera, Rayscaper camera with SketchUp camera, and also locking the view while you're working in SketchUp. And the next two are license and help. By pressing the first icon, Rayscaper starts. As at the moment I'm not connected to internet, so I have not access to assets, but it comes with free assets. First, I adjust my windows side by side so that you can see what is happening inside the SketchUp and also inside Rayscaper. And as you can see, my render is running very tiny on the upper left. So I press zoom to fit to zoom the render inside the Rayscaper window. Then I will describe different parts of the Rayscaper. By choosing the eyedropper, I can see what is the material that I'm working on, and at the moment as you can see, it is a Disney material. I will go through all the details later, and also I ensure that I've chosen the global illumination as my rendering engine. And as you can see, there are different material types, let me say, or material templates. I choose diffuse because this is the most simple material template in Rayscaper. So you can see that by changing the material color to a pale gray, the scene now is a very simple scene. And as you can see, we have a slightly bluish light from left and slightly orangish light from right. So I adjust the scene side by side so that you can see what's happening. I'm going to show you my adjusted environment in Rayscaper. To see it better, I increase the zoom in SketchUp to 120 so that you can see what is happening in Rayscaper. By turning the model or by orbiting the model in SketchUp, you can see that there is an environment in Rayscaper. Technically, it is an image that surrounds your model simply. And you can also adjust the power of it and its rotation, and I think this angle is working fine because it's almost from the front of the model. To upload another, you can simply press this icon, and as it is an HDRI, I am going to upload this HDRI. This is a preview of this HDRI image. You can see that seems that there is a light in front and a simple scene in background. Okay, so this is the environment setup. By dragging the power, you can change the power intuitively, or by control clicking on every slider inside Rayscaper, you can type the value, and without the environment you can see the effect of light emitter materials from left and right. And by turning on the environment, you can see the effect of the HDRI that provides you with a virtual environment or virtual lighting setup. This is for the lighting, and I think this is pretty decent. Now it is time to delve deeper into other aspects of Rayscaper. Simply by choosing the eyedropper, I can select the material. As I already said, the simplest material template is called diffuse, and you can change the color here. There are different ways to change the color of the material. And also it has options for opacity and normal map, and also you can turn your material to a light emitter material. By decreasing the opacity of the material, you can see that it is now a transparent, simple material, like for example paper or something like that. And also you can use, instead of color, you can choose other options such as maps. I'm going to add emission, so I turn off the environment, and from the emission part I am going to increase the power and also temperature. The lower value means the warmer color, like orangish or yellowish or reddish colors, and by increasing this value to a value more than 5,000 or 6,000, it turns into a cooler color, like a bluish or purplish color. Right in the middle, I mean between 5,000 and 6,000, we are facing almost pure white color. And this is in Kelvin. If you are interested to know more about the light temperature, you can search it on Google and to know more about the Kelvin temperature of the light. Also, you can choose a color instead. If you switch to color option, simply you can choose a color from the spectrum, or also we can adjust the R, G and B values separately to have a very exact and specific color. You can also change the value, as I already said, by simply dragging the slider, or by holding the control key and pressing on the value bar, so that you can input a specific value. There are other options such as two-sided materials or two-sided light emitter materials emit light on both sides of each and every surface. By choosing the fake emission, you wouldn't have any light emission inside your model, just material is brighter. So could be handy in some cases. I turn the emission off and turn the environment on again. Back to material tab. You can choose an image as the color of the material instead of pure color. So it could be a texture instead. In fact, to assign a different map to your color, you can press the tiny slider icon, and then from the drop down menu you can choose different let me say patterns or colors or textures for your material. Right now it has its own SketchUp texture, and you can change it. And as I already mentioned, you can also choose a map for the opacity. I choose a black and white map for the opacity, and everywhere inside the Rayscaper, pure white means full value, and pure black means zero value. So zero opacity means no opacity, and black parts means no opacity. So that's not what we want. There is an option to invert the colors here, and by pressing that I invert the map, and now it is working well. So now we have sort of perforated material, as you can see. So simply you can change the values or colors and replace them with images. Okay, I change it once again to a value so that I can increase or decrease the value. And that's it for the diffuse material. That is the simplest material. Next material template is plastic template, and it has more options, including a color, a glossy color, roughness, IOR, opacity in normal map, and also emission. We are already familiar with some of them. To change the material color, I simply press the tiny slider icons, and here you can see that there is an option for the color and the glossy color. Right now it is set to a green color. I'm going to change both of them to a red spectrum. Now you can see that we have a red plastic material with pale red glossy parts. IOR, or index of reflection or refraction, defines how shiny or how reflective is your material, and usually it is between 1 and 3. It is usually between 1.5 and 2.5. By increasing it, the material would be more shiny, more reflective. By decreasing it, it would be less shiny or less reflective. Very similar to what we saw in a diffuse material template, we have also an option for emission, and here I changed the color for the emission and also increase the power of it so that you can see its effect on the model, surrounding model. Now you can see that there is a pale green light everywhere. And now I turn it off again. So basically we could create almost any sort of plastic material here. By changing the roughness, we can have less glossy reflection and more matte, let me say, a plastic material here, as you can see. And this way you can create different types of plastic materials, including rubbers or very shiny, sticky plastic materials. Let me adjust my viewport. By decreasing the roughness, once again we have a very shiny plastic material. Also, we have an option for normal map that is sort of tiny bumps, represents bumps on your material. I choose a map, and based on that map you can see that it's now like a tile. So you can basically create sort of tiles, kitchen tiles or bath tiles using this technique or using this let me say map. We can increase and decrease the effect of this normal map here. And also we can choose a black and white and change the value, but it's not a normal map. In fact, normal map is a colored map, but also it works well with black and white maps also. Usually black and white maps are used for bump map in all engines. Okay, the next material is mirror material. It's very simple. It has a color option and also opacity in normal map. It has also the emitter or emission option. Simply by changing the color or choosing another map like an image, you could have your mirror material. It's very simple. So you can choose a map or value for the opacity. The next material template is metal, and here we have also some presets you can choose from, or you can insert your IORs, your preferred IOR values for red, green and blue, and also you can insert your absorption coefficient values manually. I prefer to choose from the drop down menu. Also, you have an option for opacity and roughness that are very similar to what we already experienced. So once again, I choose the black and white texture for the roughness, and as I already mentioned, pure white means full value or full roughness. Here the full value means full roughness, and black parts means zero value or zero roughness here. So now we have a patterned golden metal. You can choose different presets from this drop down menu, and also you can change the roughness to value instead of a texture or an image. Now we have a very rough aluminum material, as you can see. Also it is sort of not realistic or realistic, so I reduced the roughness value to half, and now we have an acceptable aluminum material. By reducing it, we will have a more shiny or more reflective, or let me say more clear reflections. You can try different presets. or as I said, you can also insert your values manually. They are here the presets are very precise and based on physical values, real world values, so we can trust them. For any product visualization, I believe that it can cover all your needs. The next template is coated material template. That is very handy in creating a wide range of materials, including car paint or metallic car paint materials. By changing my material template to a coated material, I can reduce roughness. I have two options for base color and also coating color. I choose pure black for the color and choose a reddish color for the coating. By changing the base color to a mid-value blue, you can see the result and also the difference between the coating color and the base color. Now I choose pure black for the coating color, so it means that we have no coating, and you can see when I change the roughness what is the effect. Also, instead of color, I can choose a texture for the base color. Now we have a sort of wooden material. Now I choose pure white for the coating layer, and you can see that it fully covers the beneath layer. By reducing the value and using a pale or let me say dark gray, you can see that now we have a very shiny wooden material. By reducing the coating color to a very dark gray or almost black color, you can see that now we have a decent, very shiny wood material. It is really handy in product visualization and also in architectural visualization in many cases. So basically, by changing the coating color to a dark value, you would have less coverage, and by increasing it to a brighter gray, you would have more coverage. An RGB value of 888 works pretty well on this wood material. And as I already mentioned, we can always change any map using these tiny sliders. I change it to a color, so once again we have a sort of plastic material using a coated material. It could be handy in making car paint materials as well. And the next material template is glass template. Let me reload my material and change it once again to a glass so that everything is resetted. Now I can change the color of the base color of the glass material to a dark gray or bright gray, and you can see that now we have a frosted glass material, a very beautiful frosted material here. And now we can also change the transmittance and roughness. So let's do it. By reducing the roughness, we would have more clear um, glass material. Also, we can change the transmittance color, as usually all the glass materials have a tinge of greenish color. So I changed the base color to pure white and change the transmission color or transmittance color to a pale green color. So you can see that now we have a greenish frosted glass. By reducing the roughness to a very low value like 0.01 or pure 0, we would have a very realistic thick glass material. We have an option for thin glass materials, and thin glass materials are very handy in architectural modeling and visualization, as I personally prefer to use a single face to model the glass panes. It saves me much time, so there is an option for thin glass material. Thin glass material, in fact, does not calculate the refraction, so it is much faster, and it is handy in architectural visualization purposes as well as industrial design materials in some cases. So if you need a thick glass, just leave it as it is. If you need a thin glass, select the thin glass option or thin option. I didn't mention that you can save your materials simply by choosing the save material, add different categories or tags, and then save your materials for later use. And finally, the Disney material template that provides you with full control over your material. Here you can reload your material to reset it to what you already had and start from scratch. You can see that we have all options like color or texture for the base color, and here also you have some more options like to rotate your material. It is available in other material templates as well, but I'm not going to play with them here because I think that the material placement in my SketchUp model is pretty well. We have an option for metallic materials, so I changed the slider to maximum value, that is 1, and set it to 1 and reduce the roughness. So now I have a very shiny metallic material. I can also choose a base color instead of the SketchUp texture. So I changed the base color to a red color and then set the metallic to full 1 and also roughness to full one value. Now once again it seems that our material is very similar to diffuse material. We have options for specular tint and also for sheen, for anastrophic, that are relevant to the metallic options. So let me decrease the roughness value. So now you can see that when we change the anastrophic value, we have sort of drag effect in light or bright parts of our metallic material. So full 1 means maximum drag effect, and 0 means no anastrophic. So basically we have full control over our metallic material here. This is sort of artistic approach towards the making metallic materials that is much more intuitive for those who are interested in, let me say, artistic approach towards making metal material. By reducing the metallic value and increasing the roughness and adding the sheen option, I can create sort of fabric material. Okay, you can see the effect of sheen on outer edges of our material test model. You can see it's like a velvet or any sort of like cotton cloth or cotton material. This way we can change the sheen amount and also sheen specular to create different cloth materials. I changed the base color to a reddish color and then increase the sheen. Now you can see that we have sort of velvetish material here. Also we have an option for clear coat, and we can also adjust its roughness. Basically here also we can create materials such as plastic or wood floor materials here. So I can change the base color to a wooden texture, and by increasing the clear coat glossiness, now we have a shiny wood floor material that is really handy in architectural visualization cases and also in industrial design cases. Basically we tested almost every option. And back to our SketchUp model, I have prepared a very simple car scene. I already set up the material to save the time. I used coated material for the car body, plastic for many parts of it, including very rough plastic for tires that represents rubber, and shiny plastic for shiny parts. Also different metal materials for rings and also exhaust and some rims and etc. And for the headlights, that includes a very thin glass material and also some reflective parts. I've used thin glass material and also light emitter material and also very shiny reflective plastic and also metal materials. For the lighting, I have chosen light emitter preset. I have chosen diffuse with activated light emitter or light emission. So basically I have two rectangular overshooting lights and a few light emitter materials in my scene. And let's see what's the result. You can see that just in a few seconds we are going to have a very beautiful, very beautiful car render. I adjust the render aspects, render size, and also you can change the exposure and vignetting here. And you can see that the result is really beautiful and very simple. Okay, I hope that you have enjoyed this material and also car rendering tutorial, and see you on the next video.